Storytime at home.
Hi, I'm Gwen from the Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District, and today we're talking about periodical cicadas that happen in the Midwest every 17 years. So we're going to be reading the book today, Cecily Cicada, by Helmetag Murdock and Patsy Helmetag. In her dreary earthen hole neath the sassafras tree on Hudacoper Street in Washington, D.C., lived a hopeful nymph cicada waiting for the time she could crawl up top and feel the sunshine. The last thing she remembered before digging her hole was her solemn mama saying, "Cecilia, be bold. Be patient, dear, and persevere, and never do give up, for in 17 years you'll get back to the top. In 17 years, you'll know what to do, and something amazing will happen to you." For 17 years, she waited day and night for time and temperature to be just right. Cecilia ate roots, then ate some more. By eating roots was such a bore. She was so stalwart and past the time, doing 17 things that didn't fit in this rhyme. She was listening and knitting and dancing and drawing and doing headstands and juggling and eating root spaghetti and cooking and making faces and prospecting and reading and singing and doing yoga and whistling and throwing a pot and throwing a fit and sleeping. For while she awaited that far-off day, she had to be clever and learn to play and entertain herself till the soil felt right. At 64 degrees, she could crawl up to the light. Once when thinking of things to do, a friendly worm came passing through. He asked, "Why are you waiting down in this hole?" She said, "That is something I cannot control. In fact, I wish I could go up with you, but I must wait. My waiting's not through. In 17 years will come to the day when I can go outside and play." One morning in May, she awoke with a start. This was the moment she knew in her heart, something she knew she must get to the top. She began digging and did not stop. Her head popped out in the dim moonlight, but her climbing continued that starry night. After so many years, she felt so free, she climbed up the bark of the sassafras tree. When she got near the top, she suddenly froze. She felt stiff from her nose to her toes. She couldn't move. She was stuck in one spot. She tried to crawl and found she could not. She wiggled and wriggled with all of her might, but no matter what, her feet held tight. She thought, "I have to get out of here." Her body trembled with outright fear. She began to shake. She couldn't stop shaking when all of a sudden she heard something breaking. She heard a rip and then a crack and felt the night air on her back. She tried moving her feet and found that they would, then took a step and found that she could. But why had she been stuck in one place? She looked up and saw the dried brown case. Her new self was pale with wings that were green. Her skin was translucent with a beautiful sheen. When the sun came up on the beings who slept in, Cecilia's color began to deepen. Suddenly a question entered her mind. How can I leave part of me behind? That withered brown case used to be me, but now it's dried up and stuck in the tree. She saw from her branch a most curious thing, a creature like she was with elegant wings. You look puzzled, but look around. There are hundreds of us crawling out of the ground, climbing up trees and leaving our past, spreading our wings to embrace life at last. We're leaving our old selves stuck on the trees while we fly with the ladybugs, robins, and bees. Oh, it's a wonderful thing to fly. Jump off that branch. Give it a try. It was amazing. Her mom had been right, as Cecilia found on her very first flight. You know how it is if you've had to wait long. When that thing finally happens, isn't it great? If you've been in a dark hole, nothing is duller. Imagine emerging surrounded by color. Below her were flowers and beautiful plants, birds and dragonflies, spiders and ants. Children were playing in Glover Park, and parents were dragging them home before dark. For 2 days her red eyes took in all the sights and the sounds of the smells of springtime delights. There were savory flowers that smelled so sweet, and tasty new leaves for her to eat. Then after 3 days came a glorious sound from the bushes and treetops and all around. From male cicadas both high and low, a chorus of voices began to grow. For some humans it might sound like a buzz, but Cecilia knew just what it was. A beautiful, joyful, thankful song of creatures who'd lived in the ground for too long. Then she heard the sweetest voice, one that made her heart rejoice. Cecilia looked up, and to her surprise was another cicada with stars in his eyes. When you see a cicada, please give her a smile, 'cause you may not see one again for a while. Just look at the grown-up who's reading to you. When the cicadas come back, you'll be grown up too. I hope you enjoyed learning about Cecily's adventures on our story today. Have a great day. Bye.
Get free books in the mail. Sign up today. Go to Ohio Imagination Library.org to find out more.